I see Joseph is in the chat. All right, we are live on Halloween Eve here with Matt, aka Pugwall. What's up, buddy?
Hey, I'm good.
Glad
Excited.
to have you.
Your favorite film, man?
That's yes, it is, and many people have heard me talk a lot about it already. So this is just a yearly tradition at this point. What's up, Joe? Hope you're doing well, buddy.
Like tradition, you know.
When
Tradition's
is
for a reason.
exactly? They gotta be. When is the first time that you remember seeing the thing?
Ooh. It might have been one I watched before I kind of embarked on my horror odyssey. I may have just watched it as a movie.
Just like a random movie, right?
Yeah, like BBC Two. I remember watching it a couple of years ago with when I first got my dog, and she was a puppy, and I had to stay up late with her, and she was just watching it. And you know how Carpenter deliberately scared dogs to get the real sounds.
Oh yeah.
So like, she was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And like really paying attention to the film.
It was funny. I was just thinking that those dogs must have been terrified, like seeing just like the practical effects on set right in front of them.
Well,
like,
yeah,
there was probably no acting, or they were just probably that was all natural dogs freaking out.
Yeah, I believe because I did this for the podcast, and I remember reading something about it where he combined to get the noises. He went around like either neighbors or friends' dogs, and they were like in their like kennels, and he was like hitting the outside of the kennels and like stirring them up to record the sounds. So whatever they were saying, my dog was like, "Oh, are you okay, guys? Like, what's going on?"
It's definitely effective the way that the dogs react in that scene alone.
Yeah.
What's up, Zodiac? What's up, Professor? Yes, we are.
Everyone.
See, everyone knows
of
all time.
We're gonna see JT's thing. No,
we are. It'll be edited like quick into a video sometime, like a subliminal message. People will be like, wait a minute, what the hell is that?
Well, that's his thing. He said it was his favorite thing.
Yeah, they gotta go frame by frame to find out. I think what just puts this movie over Halloween for me is my favorite horror movie and just favorite movie is just the effects. Like, it's probably the one thing that puts it over Halloween. Like, if we're just talking everything else, they're both films are pretty much on equal perfect level. But just being such a big fan of practical effects and just seeing the work, the work that Rob Bottin like exhausted himself multiple times on set, like through the filming, just to do. And then
he was such a young guy,
dude. That's what blows me away. He was like 22 years old, 23 at the most. So like, I think back to like 22 years old. It's like, imagine doing all that mind-blowing work. And it still looks fantastic. Like, there's nothing that looks dated in this movie at all.
No, it doesn't age, does it? Okay, Kurt Russell, you know, he's obviously aged. He's Santa now, but like he was working on. He had the coolest beard in this film. Like,
I mean, McCready is a great character.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah, and he does have such a good beard in this movie.
Yeah, beard envy, you know.
Absolutely. All right. Anyone in chat watching? Zodiac? Anybody? If not, we'll get this going so we can see some extravagant special effects work. Thank you, Zodiac. Yeah, we passed 700, so we're like,
oh man, congratulations, man.
Thank you. I don't know how this month has been a fucking train wreck. October's been like a crazy month between. Not like all bad, but like between getting sick and shit, and then just like feeling lazy afterwards, like all months.
You know,
I can't wait for Halloween to be over, and then so like November could just start. It's like, all right, good, new month.
There's no rhyme or reason though, is there, to it? Like what happens almost, because like I spent ages editing and putting together this video with Al, and like I thought it was really funny and really good, and people all commented and said it was great, and then I looked on the thing and it's just like -2 subscribers.
Oh yeah, I know. It's
so I was like, you can't, you know, you do something in 10 seconds and people love it, and you do something that like takes hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, so, and then it's like, just like, oh well, or like just it never takes off. It sits at like 20 subs, having 20 views. It's like hitting the lottery pretty much. With every upload, it's like, all right, maybe it'll hit, but I probably won't. And you got to see. All right, so we're just gonna get this movie started. People hop in, and we'll give timestamps and stuff. You have yours ready?
Yeah, ready to go.
All right, I'll do the little countdown on 3, 2, 1, go. I gotta lower that a bit. Ennio Morricone's score in this, I said, it's not like a favorite score of mine, but it's perfect for this movie.
Yeah, because he's doing Carpenter, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Like he's doing his best John Carpenter impersonation.
Yeah. I was watching Halloween 3 last night, and he was like, obviously it was Carpenter's score, and I was just like, oh, this is so good. The music's so amazing.
It's so
I'd love to see him live. It'd be great to see him live.
Oh, absolutely. To see him like playing all those scores and his other music. I've heard some of his other music. I like his whole synth sound and stuff. It's just so distinctive.
Oh man, yeah.
That you hear it in any of his movies, and you know it's Carpenter, like just from the sound of the synthesizers. But him and Alan Howarth on Halloween 3, that's probably one of in my top scores.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where like, you would just, it would be awesome to just go and sit back and listen to all almost his history through film in music. I remember asking people. He played Manchester a few years ago, and I remember asking before I really knew anybody who was into horror. And it was like, anyone want to go and see John Carpenter? And it was just like, nobody.
That's a shame, because even people who aren't into him and stuff would see him live and just be blown away by the music, I would think.
Oh yeah, love to. Yeah, I've managed to just sort of push people who weren't into horror to go to things with me a bit more now. So like if it's a convention or whatever, I use it as an excuse to meet up with people that maybe I don't see very often.
Yeah, that's a positive of it for sure.
See, this scene is the scene I always forget from the film. I always forget that there's like an alien bit at the beginning. Yeah, like it total. It's almost completely. I mean, I know that they're not of this world, but it's a strange.
Yeah, you just like forget seeing like the actual spacecraft like crash into Earth.
Yeah, like the opening and the plastic bag being on fire and melting and making the thing is just like so cool that they did that in a practical way.
Yeah,
and it's one of the best titles ever.
And he just perfectly replicated the original.
Yeah,
the opening to the original. Which the thing from Another World, it's a good movie. It's not bad.
I don't think I've seen it all the way through. You know,
I just don't consider it. I don't consider this movie a remake. Like it's its own thing. And even though it's based off the same source material, like Thing from Another World, just a guy in a suit.
And Horror Express
movies back then.
Yeah, Horror Express is based on the same source material as well, isn't it? Even though that's just like a training movie, but it's jumping from body to body and that kind of stuff. That's the only thing they have in common.
I just saw a movie that is probably top contender of the year for me for When Evil Lurks. Check that movie out.
I saw you posted about it.
It's on Shudder.
I need to write that down.
Yeah, I've been waiting for like a month because I had a few friends that like saw it in theaters. They're releasing theaters earlier this month. And then that just released the Shudder last night or 2 nights ago. And it's an Argentine film from Argentina, and it is fantastic. Like people who were bitching about The Exorcist Believer, about doing nothing new possession-wise and stuff.
Yeah,
watch this movie.
Okay. I just ordered Believer today, only because I've got the box set of all of them, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to own it. And I can wait. Until it gets delivered in March. Like, I'm not in a hurry.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it is. When Evil Lurks, it was fantastic. I can't recommend that enough. What's up, Phil?
I'll check that one. Here comes the doggy. It just makes me sad. I'm just rooting for the dog straight away, man. Regardless.
Yeah. They're such beautiful dogs, the Huskies like that.
Yeah. This is a problem. This is a problem. Wherever I go anywhere and people are talking to me and they've got a dog, I just automatically go and start talking to them.
Yeah, right. It's like bypass the human being completely. It's like,
hey, man, I do it in schools. I'm supposed to go in because a lot of schools have like therapy dogs now.
Yeah.
So like I go in, the head teacher's like wanting to shake my hands and kind of, nice to meet you and and I go, yeah, just 1 second and go.
Yeah, whatever. We'll just give you a second here. Just don't play with the dog.
And they have to put up with it as well. They can't because they have to deal with it. Ooh, Harbinger
What to
Dan.
say? Harbinger Dan. I haven't seen it in a while. It's a good movie, actually. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, but it's a
I
great
don't know
movie.
that. Who's in that? What's that? What's the story behind that?
It
I don't
came.
know
When
that.
did that come out, Professor? What is that? Two
We need a
thousands.
professor on this.
Yes. It had the like very very good practical effects in it that the remake of the prequel was supposed to be before it got the whole CGI studio treatment. And they painted over the effects they had in the remake.
Yeah,
I keep saying remake, prequel.
pretty cool. I didn't care for it though. I didn't care for
Yeah, I
it.
mean it's all right, but I just it's all the CGI. It takes so much away from it. Like they did a lot of practical effects, but the studio covered it up with CGI and mixed it together, and it just you can't have a Thing movie
Yeah.
with like relying on CGI. It just doesn't work for me. And for
It's
many,
almost
many
identical. The box is almost identical. I think I may have only bought it because I thought I was buying the original.
yeah, they are identical, and the name is just the Thing again. Like
Yeah.
the year
You
is
can see how it fooled
2011.
me.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes I see it because the Thing doesn't stream on like streaming services often. They'll throw it on Tubi once
No.
in a blue moon or throw it on something else. I think it's on Peacock right
Right.
now. But I'll
Okay.
see the prequel and I'll be like, "Oh, they put the Thing on," and then I'll see, "Oh, it's the prequel." That's the 2011
Yeah.
one, so it gets me
That's it.
too.
Yeah. I think they used to show it on Film 4 quite a lot. I think Channel 4 had it, and then like Film 4 used to have some good films on it. Like when I didn't have access to anything other than terrestrial TV and Freeview, and like
Yeah,
Film 4 had some good movies. Obviously, because some of them they funded them back when people used to fund movies in the
yeah,
UK.
that makes sense.
But and they used to have lottery funding as well. But the Thing was always one that they'd put on quite late at night, so I'd watch it quite a few times just to. There he is. He's got his J&B and his sunglasses.
Yeah, gotta love his JMB. Yeah, so
I've
the
got
prequel
a little
came out.
J&B glass.
There you go. The prequel comes out. Yeah, it came out in 2011. So Harbinger Down. Yeah, it was 2015. A few years after that.
Okay.
Yeah, Mary Elizabeth.
2015, right? Okay.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She's good in most things. I mean, I
She's
feel like
in the
she's in Final Destination 3. She's in a few other things. Why can't I think?
is she in the Cloverfield one? That Cloverfield 10 Cloverfield Lane or something like that? Is that her?
Maybe I'm not sure. I never got
Because
into the
that's a good
Cloverfield
film.
movies. Yeah,
No,
I
not
gotta watch that one.
yeah, that's the only one for my money. That's the only one worth watching. That's a kind of completely different.
I've heard
way
that
of,
from a few
yeah.
people over the years because I never liked the
John
original
Goodman.
Cloverfield. Yeah,
No,
John
I
Goodman.
didn't. Yeah, he's awesome in it. He's awesome, John Goodman in that, and that's probably why I can't remember who the girl was in it. I just
Hey,
remember
Care
him. Hey,
Joe. I don't know. I have to see your new channel. What's you made a new channel, a separate channel, Joe? That's cool if you do. Interesting.
Awesome. Nice. I'm watching this How God Intended on my phone.
Yes.
You know, Martin Scorsese would be so proud of me.
I gotta see that. I gotta see it. It's a new movie. His new movie.
Oh yeah, me too. For me, I'm now going completely off at a tangent. Not enough people talk about Silence. Like Silence is an incredible film, like a later Scorsese film.
There's a lot of Scorsese movies that don't get proper due, and I think it's just because of how big his most famous movies are, like Casino, Goodfellas, Raging Bull, and stuff like that. Those always seem to dominate conversations regarding him.
Silence is just a really grim, hard to watch film, but so well made.
Yeah,
Andrew Garfield is incredible in it.
I think I only saw it once, and Garfield was the standout thing for me was the performance in it.
Yeah,
I got to rewatch.
He's underrated. He's underrated actor because I think people just go, "Oh, he's Spider-Man," but he's done the full Stanislavski thing and really studied his acting and knows what he's doing. I've seen him in plays. I actually saw him in play in Manchester.
Nice.
And he was incredible. Yeah, he was just when he was like young guy. I don't know if you've ever heard of the book or the film Kes. It's like about a boy who has a kestrel, and it's like a dark British kind of sad poor people having sad lives kind of story, like just story of my life. And and basically he imagines the kestrel all the way through the film. The way they played it was he did it in the round, but so you never actually see the kestrel obviously in the play, and you never once think this looks stupid because he's so good. He was so good in it.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch Silence. The Departed Zodiac. So yeah, The Departed's a great one.
Matt Damon in that.
Yeah, and you nailed it, Zodiac, with the Boston accent spelling there. The Departed.
I always think of like Diane, Diane. Yeah. Sam and Diane.
So funny.
McCready's just automatically the coolest guy in history with his hair, glasses, beard, the clothes, the J&B.
That's what I love about his character too, is that like everybody there respects the shit out of him, even though he's like pretty much a fucking alcoholic drunk.
When it's like, just trust him, just do what he says. And then when people, even when they question him a little bit, you're like, no, you probably should just trust him and go with it, because
it's Kurt Russell. Trust Kurt Russell.
Yeah, exactly.
Now they never say how long they've been here. Like I've always assumed that it's like at least like 6 months or so, like, because they seem like they're ready to lose their minds without the alien creature that shows up and stuff.
Tired.
They look just fed up.
Head,
Windows says here that he's been trying for like 2 weeks to reach people and he can't reach anybody. So it definitely seems like it's been at least 6 months, a year, maybe. Like, who knows how long they've been out there.
Wilford Brimley was like a young guy when they went there originally.
Yeah.
He was 21.
Wow.
I love the names of these characters. Like, guy with glasses is Windows. Like, I feel attacked by that.
That's funny. I like Palmer. Palmer's funny. So, well, every character just has something about them, at least something that is just makes them real memorable. That
He's
like,
so
you care about all of them.
The guy, like, he's got the headband, the roller skates, it's such a stereotype, man. He
turns the music up, Superstition, when it's playing.
Yeah, of course it's Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, Bending tells him to turn it down, and he just turns it up louder and stuff like that. Like, that's so funny.
Keith David looks so young in this.
Oh yeah,
he looks so upright and kind of tall.
He's such a fantastic actor too. I love.
He's great. We did They Live the other week, and I was just like, that scene where they're having the big punch up, the big long punch up. He's just amazing in that. He's great. He was good in Community as well. Like, the last few years, he was great when they brought him into Community.
I haven't seen something with him in it that I don't like his performance in.
Yeah,
I think
this might have been his. Yeah, you're right. Was this his first film? I think he was a stage actor, and this was his first film.
I forget if this was his first movie. No,
I have a feeling he was a stage actor, and they wanted somebody.
I know he definitely was a stage actor. I don't know if this might have been his first feature film.
He's got a voice of a stage actor.
Yeah, same with Tony Todd.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, Keith David has a very distinct voice, just like Tony Todd has a very distinct voice. You hear either one of them, it's one of those. You know who it is.
Yeah, I like that Carpenter takes people from one film to the next. I get the feeling he'd have had Kurt Russell in every single film if he could have got away with it.
Yeah, a lot. I like how a decent amount of legendary horror actors do that and work with a lot of the same cast and crew and stuff.
Yeah. When he did that with, say with the crew, there's like the Carpenter crew, isn't there, that he took with him for most of the things, or it certainly gave them chances to do things. Like, even
for sure. Even Buck Flower and stuff, that he played a bum or drunk in like every single movie he's ever been in. But he was a Carpenter
behind
staple.
The scenes. They've all done like about 12 things. Like Nick Castle and Tommy Lee Wallace, they've all done so many things. Ooh, well, I don't think Jack Burton wins because he's more bravado.
It would be down to Snake or McCready for me.
He's got two. McCready's got two working eyes.
I'll probably go with McCready just because it's my favorite movie. So. It's the cheap answer, but that's the answer.
No, I'll agree. I'll agree. I prefer the Thing over the Escape movies.
So
I like the music in that. But
Disco Godfather in 1979, he had an uncredited role, Keith David, and then The Thing was. So this is basically his first movie.
Okay. Got some Stevie Wonder going here.
Yeah.
Man, I remember my parents having that Stevie Wonder's greatest hits, like one of the first things when I learned to put an LP on the turntable.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's good. Especially when he's like, because he had all the little Stevie Wonder songs on there as well, you know, where he's like, uptight, and his voice is all high.
Question is, what are you doing for Halloween? Probably just giving out candy and then watching John Carpenter's Halloween tomorrow night.
That sounds good. I'm working for an hour in the middle of it, which is a bit of a pain, but I've got myself a nice vampire cape and teeth, and I'm going to slick my hair back. I've got my dog the same costume, and we're going to treat the local kids. We've got some lights outside and some pumpkins.
Nice.
Some nicely carved ones by my wife and some horrendously carved ones by me. I tried doing a spider and I just gave up and turned it around and did a face on the other side. So yeah, that's.
I hope that there's a turn. Like every year, I feel like there's less and less like trick or treaters and shit. It's like kind of disheartening. Like,
I'll be honest. Last year, I've got a story about this. Last year, I locked my door, switched my lights off, and didn't engage at all. We was going through some tough stuff, but also the kids in our neighborhood where we used to live, were not good kids.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not rewarding you for this. So the kids where we are now are just so lovely. All of them just no one gets it. It's a little community and everybody knows everyone and it's just great. So I'm like, yeah, we're going to buy loads of sweets. And unless I eat them all, they're going to get loads of sweets tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. Until they start acting like dicks, hopefully not. But if that day comes, then they get nothing again.
Yeah, I guess. I think is here because it's a small village with lots to do. And everybody knows everyone else. If you get into bother, honestly, within a minute, it's on the Facebook group, and they're like, "I'm coming to get the kid." You know,
it's one of those towns. Yeah, everybody knows everybody's business. Everyone knows everything.
Yeah, and the good thing is nobody knows us because we're new. We're literally outlanders. Like we're not. We are outsiders. Mr. Lamb.
JT. That's all right, buddy. That was pre-recorded. Me and Gore pre-recorded 2 videos. The other one, I don't know when he's dropping. Maybe at midnight tonight or something. Like our discussion on Halloween. I've watched Halloween like 3 times this month. So like for some reason.
Wait, is it your favorite of the series? Then the first one.
Oh yeah, and then Season of the Witch is my favorite sequel.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
Like I have a lot of nostalgia for all of them up to like H2O, even a little bit, but like because those are the ones I grew up with, and H2O I think was the first new one to come out like after I was a big Halloween fan. But 4 still has some good stuff, and it has the best atmosphere. I feel like
I don't mind
Halloween
4, 5,
one.
and 6. Yeah.
5's kind of terrible, but I still have nostalgia for it. 6, I like the producer's cut more than the theatrical cut. But all the Thorn stuff is stupid as hell. But like, there's something Michael's brutal in that one. Like especially in the producer's cut of 6. What's up, Park?
Hey, Larry. I'm gonna do a I think I'm gonna do a video in the future about the unmade Halloween 666. I read the script of it and it was really interesting. I was like, right, I need to. This is one of those where you'd love to just get a load of people together and like do like a table read of it or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I was when I did the watch along of Halloween with Gore the other night, he brought up the novelization of Halloween, and so now I want to track that down online, even if it's just
those were the days, man. The proper novelizations and sometimes novelizations for things were
a lot of movies.
Yeah,
Will
like some
come
of
out
them,
with
they
the
were
official book.
written before they'd seen the movie, so the person just had a rough outline of what to write.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's quite interesting because then you get a different take on it. I remember reading the Gremlins novel when I was a kid,
Yeah,
and just like,
Gremlins used to creep me out like as a kid, just the ending monologue. And like check on your bed in the closet, there might be a gremlin in your house. Like that used to freak me out when I was little.
I don't blame you, man. This is my oldest toy. This is like the oldest collectible that I've got.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Strike.
he's still in one piece. He's a little bit faded. Like
I
I can
used
kind of
to
see it better.
have a stuffed animal of Gizmo and of one of the
Nice.
gremlins, but I don't know what the hell happened to them. I think they were my cousins. She gave them to me, and then they just disappeared.
This is it. A lot of my things just kind of disappeared. I got this one last year at for the Love of Horror.
Oh, nice.
I got it
Did you
at the
flip his
event, and
hat?
I got it signed by Zach Galligan as well. So
Oh,
that's
that's
pretty cool.
awesome. If he has
Yeah,
a
he's a
Santa hat and stuff, that's cool.
yeah. It's one of those ones where I was just like, if I'm with somebody at these events, I'm like, I want to buy something and either have a picture with that person in it. I'm always dragging people into my pictures and things because I'm like, the memory of being with that person is the actual best part of it.
Oh,
So when you,
absolutely.
yeah,
I'm the same way. Like I don't delete pictures. I don't delete stuff. Like I'm very
yeah,
like sentimental with things, like events and stuff like that. Which just it sucks because I had to delete the thing watch along exactly a year ago because me and Mike,
oh,
the real Fifth Beatle, I had the audio up way too loud. It was like my first like watch along, so it was way too loud. I probably didn't have to get rid of it, but I did.
yeah,
So now it'll be good to have one that sticks here.
yeah.
Timestamp Joe is
Ooh.
2208, 2209, 2210, 11, 12, 30, something like that.
Okay, I'm with you now. I got a little bit behind somehow.
Yeah, isn't that weird how that always happens? And like, even if
It's
it's like,
strange.
even if it's identical, like no ads, like same copy,
Yeah,
like it still happens
yeah,
all the time with like everyone I watch a movie with.
it's crazy. It's
It's
crazy.
like
I
time,
listen to quite a
like
lot.
it's like time is going slightly faster
It's because
with
you're in the
one of us.
US and I'm in the UK, man. That's
Yeah,
why.
right. It's like that small little like delay of time. And it's like, hey, I'm like 25 seconds ahead of you now. How'd that happen?
I listen to a lot of watch alongs on like podcasts and things. And I ended up, I used to always try and sync, say it was on WWE Network or say it was on a TV, on a film or Disney Plus or something, try and sync it up. Now I probably just listen to them without actually watching the thing and just listen to them talking.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time with the channel that I used to that inspired me to start this one, Sinister Cinema Reviews, my boy Jason over there. I used to just like fall asleep sometimes to just listening to like his like discussions on movies and stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause I would just
It's
be
funny.
like, there's nothing else to watch, and I'd be listening to like some Evil Dead talk or something, and then like a video of his would come up, and I'd be like, I'll throw like his playlist on this series on, and like just fucking pass out to it.
I think that's Mystery Science Theater for me when I was a kid, just like falling asleep, just like having you can hear
Yeah,
your friend. It's like your friends talking, you know.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I
It's like,
even when we started doing the podcast, myself and Ben, I used to listen back to every episode, and then I got to like about episode 6 maybe, and I just kind of stopped listening to I was just like, I don't need to listen to myself anymore. I'm sick of hearing myself.
that's what I say all the time too, with editing, especially. Like, 'cause I used to just record the videos and then just like post them and stuff, and I still won't like skim through it just to see if there's anything I can improve for the next video and
Yeah.
stuff. And then once I started editing, then it's like then you got to hear certain things like a few times because you're chopping shit up and like moving stuff
Yeah, just
around
one
and
little bit, like
putting
a
clips in. Yeah,
microsecond. Yeah, yeah,
and it's just you just hear it, and then it's like, oh, I'm sick of hearing myself. So by the time you
yeah.
premiere it, it's like I don't even want to be here. Like for this premiere, I heard this thing 3 times already.
That was a video I watched on YouTube when I first started making videos, and it was like about editing, and it was like watching it 3 times and being more ruthless each time you watch it and editing it down, and like things that you think the audience might like rather than
Yeah,
what you might like. And I got really inside my own head with it, but it did help me in the sense of like the video I made with Al the other day we recorded for like an hour, and I think the video in the end I put out was like 29 minutes. So,
Yeah.
and I still feel it didn't, it didn't lose anything by doing that.
Yeah, that's why I just
cut me out.
I just put in whatever I feel is funny or good.
Yeah,
and I don't give
I
a
was
fuck what anyone else thinks.
Well, that's probably the best barometer, to be honest. And I think I was trying to do a little bit of that without being too self-indulgent in the sense of like only I would think it's funny.
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
which is fine. Like, to be honest, most of the stuff that I cut out was me, and most of the stuff that I let in was Al.
Yeah. What's up, Russell?
Hey, Russell.
Happy
Old China
Halloween
plates, a bit of Cockney slang there.
How you doing, Russell? Just
happy Halloween, JT. By the way,
yes,
because it is
it's
Halloween here in the
So yeah,
I brought in
that's
Halloween.
why shit's going faster. It's
Yeah.
Halloween there. It's not Halloween here.
It's over. No, it's over now. We've had it.
Yeah, it's over and done with. You just gave all the candy out like super speed. I didn't even
threw
see
it out the window.
Yeah, free for all. Just chuck it out.
Yeah. It's like Muppets Christmas Carol. Just throwing the stuff out of the window.
I've been trying to get this fucking Argento video out, but then I tried watching Four Flies on Grey Velvet the other night for like the first time in years, because I know that's going to be like I have the list done already, but like I have to rewatch it, and I tried rewatching it, and then I got totally distracted. So like I gotta like rewatch it again, like to like really fully be able to like talk about it, because that's one of his films that I'm not as familiar with, and I don't like as much. But even though it's his first 10 movies are pretty much like all masterpieces, so like the list is kind of very easy to put together because it's all from like pre-90s. Like
I think you're right. I think like I was like, well, surely I can watch any of his films and they'll all be great. And then after watching sort of the Dracula one, I was like,
Dracula's bad,
yeah. I was like, okay, so not everything he does turns to gold.
Yeah, everything after like for me, like Trauma in like 92 was like the last good thing, and even Trauma is not great. Opera was probably the last like excellent film.
I like.
Which is still 10 movies in a row, from Bird with the Crystal Plumage.
It's a good run.
Opera. Yeah, I mean, to me, I think he has the best streak of like masterpiece movies, one after the other.
Yeah. I mean, like Carpenter's good in the sense of but like you say, he didn't do 10.
Yeah, exactly. Like Carpenter would be in the running, but he doesn't have 10 in a row. That are just.
I mean, and the thing is, he almost got so dispirited after this because of the response to this. It wasn't like people instantly loved it. There was a lot of critical.
People hated this movie, which I will never understand.
Insane.
I'll never understand how people watched this and thought this was terrible or failure.
I have a theory though. Yeah, audiences don't want to see anything bad happening to doggies.
Yeah, that could be something. That could be definitely it, because
it can be something very simple.
Right, and then over the years, I guess people just decided, whatever. Like the dogs are cool, the movie's cool.
Yeah, and maybe they just.
I love that shot of the dog, like the Thing dog, how it's just like sitting there.
I think Larry would know this, but I think there's some really good figures of this, and kind of like maybe like NECA stuff of the dog thing.
That looks so good. Like all the effect scenes, I'm always in awe. Like every time I watch, no matter how many times I've seen this movie, with the fucking tentacle and shit, noodle nose thing.
A lot of this stuff was recovered, wasn't it? And because there's a guy, I saw him at a con, and he was like the owner of the largest Thing memorabilia in the world, and he was just like
they did recover. Yeah, they did recover. They do have a lot of this still.
He literally just went there and got the stuff. And there was two guys there dressed as MacReady and another character, and they had like the snow and ice in their beards, like painted in. It looks so cool, and the big weapons as well.
What's up, Foreign? Which remake? Do you mean this as the remake of the original, or do you mean the prequel kind of
I'd
remake from
imagine
2011.
I'd imagine that one. Yeah.
Because choose
Yeah,
those
the
words
pe-
wisely, because this is my favorite movie ever made.
Murky waters. We'll just shut this stream down, man.
Yeah,
If
right?
anyone disagrees.
Yeah, exactly. Dead Mouth the Thing.
Thanks.
This one, boom, done. Yeah, I want to see Thanksgiving also.
Is
I've been
that what it's
waiting.
called? The guy, the hostile guy. What's his name? It escapes
It's
me.
that's all right.
Yeah.
That's what we figured. Yeah, the
Yeah.
prequel we talked about a little. It's all right. Just the CGI is terrible that they had to throw that in there.
What's the guy's name who's doing the Thanksgiving film? My mind's gone blank. He's the guy
Eli
from
Roth.
Eli Roth. I
Yeah.
could see his face I could see him in Inglourious Basterds. I could see him.
Yeah,
I was like,
the bears.
what is? I was like, what's your name? But it's called Thanksgiving, is it?
Yeah, it's based off the fake trailer from Grindhouse back in
of course
2007.
Right,
Rodriguez, Planet Terror, and Tarantino's Death Proof. That was like the best part of the double feature for me. Was that a lot of people was the fake Thanksgiving trailer, and they just had the turkey there, and it's Thanksgiving. It stabs with a knife.
Isn't that where the hobo with a shotgun came from as well?
I believe so, right? Or Machete, or like Machete, didn't another one like there was a few fake trailers that became like one of them became a movie. Then there was the Werewolf Woman. There's Werewolf Woman of the SS. Was another one. I don't know. I don't think that became an actual movie.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if it had. But like,
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either.
There's an Edgar Wright one. Is it called like Don't or something like that? It's like
Don't. Yeah, that's another one. I haven't seen
that's funny.
Those fake ads in like forever, but like the Thanksgiving one, I've been waiting like forever for that to be a real thing, and now it finally is. It's
kind of similar to my script that I wrote about Pancake Day. It's like mine's like it's like a folk horror.
Yeah,
based on British customs of Pancake Day and where that came from, and tithing and Lent and giving things up. Crossed with a slasher. That's that poster that my friend did there behind me. He did a poster of it.
That's cool.
So
I'd like to read that sometime. That sounds interesting.
Oh, cool! It's only 4 pages. I did it for
it'll take me a day.
It's well, even better. I made a video about it where I went through each bit.
Cool. I'll check that out
because I haven't written anything for about 20 years, and I just kind of got inspired by talking to different people and kind of just chatting to you guys, really. And I submitted it for a few things, and it got accepted to a festival in Greece, which was really cool because I always wanted to have those little palm leaf things.
That's awesome.
So, because you remember when you watch those like films like Tarantino or Kevin Smith or whatever, and you look on the box and you see the little leaf, and you're, oh, how did they get those?
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. I got to check that video out.
Oh, thanks, man. So this is now we're in the thick of it really now, aren't we? We're about a third of the way through.
They just put it out. I love how when Keith David's just staring at it and it blooms like a flower like towards him, and he's in shock and like at what he's seeing and doesn't know what the fuck to do, and then he finally like snaps out of it and torches the thing.
Yeah. Can you imagine like being a doctor of humans and then trying to kind of work out what to do, where to slice, and what to...
Yeah, exactly. Like this whole fucking scene here with him doing like an autopsy. It looks awesome.
It's a bit like Alien, I guess.
It is, and it's funny because I always say I'm not like a big sci-fi person. Like I love Alien, I think it's a masterpiece. But I don't get. But yet, this is my favorite movie of all time, and this is a sci-fi movie.
I appreciate Alien more than I love it. I guess I appreciate it for what it is, and I feel like it's a beautiful film to look at.
It's gorgeous. The cinematography is beautiful.
Yeah,
I don't know why I always consider like this. Just seems more horror to me.
Yeah, I know. Well, there's not a lot of horror in Alien. It's quite sparing with the actual gory parts. It's more tense. Like whereas Aliens is more like Space Commandos, isn't it? It's like more.
Yeah, it's a lot more action packed.
Yeah. But I think they're both great films. I think they're just we don't need to compare them. You know what I mean? It's like,
like completely separate things.
Yeah. This is so cool though, the part with the autopsy, because you're getting a really close look at all this stuff.
There's a big theory that this is where Blair gets taken over by the thing because he touches. It looks like he touches the thing with his eraser end of the pencil, but if you look at it, like it looks like you see the shadow. So I don't think he touches it directly.
Right.
But that's like a big theory, and that's a big question I've always had: is like when exactly Blair gets taken over.
Can you trace it where you think, like, is there like a timeline? Because I'm terrible. Well, I'll just watch a film and take it for what it is. And I know some people, they get the pieces of string and the corkboard and they start piecing together everything. I don't do that. I'm probably too stupid to work it out. So
I've tried theorizing. I did in my video for the thing revisited of the path of the thing. And Norris has to be the first one, I think, because you see the silhouette of him, and like it's his hair and everything. You see like a shadow, and that's all you see when the dog walks in before they put him in the kennel. It's Norris. Like there's nobody else it could be. So I always think that he gets taken over.
I feel sorry for essentially being like, I'd be the guy going stroking the dog and protecting the dog, so it'd be me first. I empathize, that'd be me.
You'd be the first one taking over.
Yeah, I'd be the first one, and you'd be there, McCready, man.
The Thing or Halloween H2O. Joe, this is The Thing, favorite movie ever made. H2O is like way down over and over again, like at the near the bottom of the barrel of a terrible franchise.
Is H2O's the Josh Hartnett one, isn't it? It's not the Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes is
that's Resurrection. That's even
Resurrection.
Worse.
Yeah, that's worse.
That's tragic. That movie is tragically bad.
I sometimes conflate those movies, but then I just remember like there was a period of time when Josh Hartnett was in everything.
Oh yeah, I like him in The Faculty. That's the one.
His hair was really fascinating to me. I remember like being a teen, like maybe teenage, early 20s, going, I need to get my hair like that because he seems to get all the girls, so I need to be able to like.
Right.
Yeah, it didn't work, man. In the same way as trying to look like Luke Perry in the 90s didn't work either. But you're probably too young to remember the 90210 boom, maybe.
No, I remember 90210.
Yeah.
I always felt like I was born in the wrong fucking time period and shit. Like instead of 88, like I should have been like my teens in the late 60s. 78. And then 20s in the 70s. Like that would have been my ideal like existence. Like
riding around on a moped in Italy on a with a cigarette.
The 60s and shit. At the end of the 60s, I'd fit right in with the fucking California hippie movement and shit like that. Then the 70s, just with the great music and everything. Like
trying to avoid Manson though. Try and stay out of Manson.
Yeah. Try to stay away from that fucking crazy lunatic. Unlike the crazy people who actually fell for his shit.
Oh man, like Dennis Wilson, man. I listened to. There's a podcast. I'm trying to think what it's called. Hell. It's like a fictionalized real stories. I might have told you about this before, and he did one about.
It sounds familiar.
Dennis Wilson, and it's mad. I think we've actually had this conversation.
I think it was on the sleepaway camp.
It's mad how it's come back to that, but like because I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think that's such a great film.
I love it too, and I love that whole alternate history at the end there.
Me too.
It's so good. Oh, it's so satisfying just seeing them get their shit kicked out of them, and she gets torched and stuff. That's so good. I really love that movie. Like people were real split on that Tarantino film.
Yeah, like for me, people are like, "Oh, it's too long," and he needs an editor. And I was like, "I want another half an hour or an hour."
Yeah,
I actually watched it. I watched it twice in one day at the cinema because I had a friend who was coming to watch it. And I thought he wasn't going to be able to make it. So I was like, I don't want to miss it. So I watched it. And then he turned up and I didn't want to tell him I hadn't seen it. So I watched it again straight after. So I did like 6 hours of it.
Dude, it's a great movie. Like Inglourious Bastards is my favorite Tarantino film. Like that movie is like a masterpiece.
I think that needs a rewatch for me, that one.
I've
only seen it once.
So much. And Pulp Fiction is obviously a masterpiece too. Jackie Brown is his like most
So good.
underrated. I feel
That is a good film. I saw that one at the cinema back in the day.
Jackie Brown's like probably my favorite like guilty pleasure Tarantino movie, I guess.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah, it doesn't get talked about with his other
Robert
stuff.
Foster's really good in that, but
he's
like
great.
people forget like Chris Tucker's really good in it. De Niro's really good in it. De Niro's like quite vulnerable in that film, and
yeah,
like,
it's very different in that movie.
Yeah.
I feel like he could. That's like one of the slight like little things I could pick with that movie. Is like you have De Niro. It's like give him like I think he wanted to work with Tarantino at that point, but he already like wrote most of Jackie Brown, so he didn't have like a chance to give him like a major role. So he said, "Here, you want to play this guy?" Then they eventually worked together like right afterwards. But it's like you got De Niro, like give him a better role than just like a pothead fucking ex-con dude sitting on the couch. He had some fun shit near the end.
That's like the old Brad Pitt role, man. That's like Brad Pitt from True Romance.
Yeah. Like exactly. They have like he has the awesome scenes at the end with Bridget Fonda, like in the parking lot, where he's like where he shoots her, he's ready to knock her out and stuff all the time. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that is good. I need to rewatch that again as well, because the thing is with all those. Yeah, this is the thing. It's like Tarantino. It's been I watched them on VHS and I recorded them off the television, but that's like 20 plus years ago, man, and it feels like yesterday.
Isn't it? And it's crazy how time works like that.
Oh man, I listened to his video archives podcast, and he does like a whole history of Jack Dalton and Jack Dalton passing away. It's like 3 episodes, and he goes through all these made up films and the history. It's like an extra bit of the film. It's so good. It's like a big tribute to Jack Dalton. You know,
I gotta check that out.
It's really good fun.
Django Unchained it's all right. It's not a favorite of mine of his movies. It's one I don't even I haven't watched it many times, maybe like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen it once, maybe.
Yeah, I have. Maybe not even that much. Maybe
twice. I think. What's the one in the cabin? The that's got a lot.
That's my least favorite. Yeah, the Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight in. There's some strange that because there's some similarities here, I guess, between the Thing and the Hateful Eight. There's that trying to find the person and being trapped in a
there is
snow.
I just feel like snow for sure. I remember that movie I only saw once. The Hateful Eight. Maybe I should give it another chance. But I remember the dialogue. I remember the dialogue just it being a boring movie. Like I mean, usually Tarantino's dialogue is great, but like he can make every character sound like Tarantino, like himself.
True.
And I think that was the big issue I had with that movie. Like it kind of just felt like Tarantino having like conversations with himself, like for the entire
which he probably does, to be honest. And the thing is with those like about I am a sucker for people being trapped in a small space and like a bottle episode of something on a TV show where they're trapped in a school or trapped in a building, or even like trapped in a warehouse or whatever it is. That for me, because I like dialogue, I like lots of talking in films. That's why I got into like Woody Allen and Kevin Smith and people like that when I was in my teens, because I was like, oh, so I could do this. I don't have to write like about explosions and
exactly. It's like I could just have these seemingly like weird, random, but everyday type of conversations that come up.
And he's got that uncanny thing like great songwriters have of just putting a line in there that nobody else has ever written, but you feel like everybody knows it, but no one's ever written it. And it's like certain songwriters with like a turn of phrase. Like even somebody like you look at somebody mega successful, just pick any like the absolute top ones. Somebody like say Taylor Swift, for example. She's got a turn of phrase that somehow grabs hundreds of millions of people's attention. And whether you like her or you don't like her, she's got that skill. And Tarantino's got that for his dialogue. Because if everybody tried in the 2000s to copy him and they couldn't, some pretty terrible films where people tried to do.
I mean, you just have to have that talent, and he definitely he does. Like, That's why it's pretty much one of the most praised things in Tarantino's movies. It's just his dialogue and just all his homages to just a million different movies.
Oh man,
Like,
so much of it is just exactly the same from things he's seen and
oh
what
yeah,
kind of put through his filter with his dialogue in there. Like
yeah,
say,
he
Reservoir
said it.
Dogs blew people's
He said it.
mind.
He said it many times. He's like, with the
Yeah.
whole good artist copy, great artist steal. He's like, I've stolen like everything that like in my
Oh, I've
films
not
and
heard
stuff.
that.
Like
That's good.
everything's an homage to some other movie and stuff, and you can tell it's like that. Like it's not like it's blatant rip-offs of things and stuff. You could tell it's just he's such a film fanatic.
Yeah,
And that
he knows it all.
everything that
He's
he
seen it all.
loves and sees in all different films, he wants to pay like some type of tribute to that. And so he just litters all of his films with so many homages to like a million different movies.
Yeah, it's not just one thing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like this shot is just like from this movie, and the next shot's from this, and then this idea is from this other movie. Like it's like a
typical,
Where's Waldo of
it's like
movie
it's like typical young guy who worked in a video shop. You know,
Yeah,
that's how your mind works. It's how a lot of our minds work when we were
me too.
younger. Like he did this, and this was like this, and this was like that, and this was, you know, and you're
Just all
you're
those
you're firing. Yeah. No, I've forgotten it all, but back then I knew it all. I knew it all. I thought I knew it all.
Take care, Joseph.
Oh man. Yeah, Reservoir Dogs was one which I think it was quite hard to get in the UK for a while because there was cuts with it and distribution issues, and getting it on VHS was quite because it was like still VHS times. It's quite hard to get hold of it.
Yeah, that's Reservoir Dogs.
Take care. Thanks,
Absolute
Joseph.
classic. Yeah, take care, Joe. And Death Proof is probably the other one that I'm not too big on.
No, I'm not.
It's all right. I mean, Kurt Russell's in that, and just kills two bitches with a car, then they kick the shit out of him. Like that's pretty much the whole movie. Like it really. That's why like, the Thanksgiving trailer was my favorite part of the whole Grindhouse experience back then.
I think I preferred Planet Terror to.
I did too.
Death Proof,
Rodriguez's.
It was more fun.
Movie was much more fun than Tarantino's.
Yeah. When someone's taking their leg off and using it as a weapon, you're like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, right. It's like at least something unique's going on. I mean, Kurt Russell was using his car as a weapon, but just didn't look as cool as the girl Rose McGowan.
And I think as well,
one leg is a gun.
Has he ever been a bad guy other than in that? I can't think of him because he's just so intrinsically.
I know, right? Like just a hero.
Person.
Yeah.
He just looks like a good person in real life. Like it's like Tom Hanks, I guess. It's like that kind of just.
Yeah, exactly. They just have that look.
Or like James Stewart, you know, like you just couldn't imagine them being like anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, man. Everyone sleeps on what's.
You're right. I agree.
They do. I agree too.
The book's great too. The book's good. The only issue is, I think, with the book, there's loads and loads about Cliff and his like getting the dog into dog fighting. And in the film, I get more of a kind of love between them. I don't feel like he would have done that to the dog and used it to make all his, like he made loads of money by using the dog, and there's like chapters about it. But maybe that's just me. I tune out, or I can't take any. I can take human peril, but not dog peril.
So, well, there's no dog in Cannibal Holocaust. So I was going to say, have you ever seen Cannibal Holocaust, or you won't watch it because of the animal stuff? Because I know a lot of people like that.
It's been putting me off for a while, that the animal stuff, but I will have to watch it for the.
The video nasty thing. That's right. That's like the video nasty, like that.
We're doing like we did I Spit on Your Grave last week, and that's coming out soon. And then we did Evil Speak, but we haven't recorded that yet.
I haven't seen Evil Speak in years. That's a crazy.
So put it in two films that couldn't be any more different. But I think that's what Al's going for, which is to kind of he thinks and I agree. If we do like relentlessly hard to watch films back to back, will be both absolutely
miserable. Broken after a while. You'd be like, all right, like I don't know if I could keep going through this list.
What do you think of I Spit on Your Grave? Do you like that? I thought it was really good.
The original you're talking?
Yeah, the original. Yeah.
I like the original more than the remake, but I do like the remake too from 2010. Okay. I think it's a very good remake. Like,
Yeah.
given the circumstances and the content of the movie and stuff like that. Like, it's not like a
Well,
movie that I love watching or I'll throw it on
no.
often, but
Yeah,
it
just
is a
have a look.
good movie, and it pretty much invented, like, same with Last House on the Left, like the whole rape revenge like
Well,
subgenre.
that's it. I prefer it to Last House on the Left, and for a few reasons, and
I do too.
mainly because I know that those women had a miserable time making Last House on the Left, and I know that Wes Craven doesn't even like that film. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even like it. So, whereas I think with this one, she's got a lot of agency in terms of how it was made, what she thought about it, getting it made. Obviously, she married the director, but it's for me, it's a really well made film. But there needed to be a lot of revenge for me to get over that middle part, that 30 minutes
it's very,
of
very
just
hard.
relentless. So like for me to get to that point, I was like, right, these guys need to fucking die. Like these guys.
That's what I feel like the remake does of I Spit on Your Grave a little better than the original. Is like the revenge that she gets on the guys is much more brutal in the remake.
Really?
Like
Oh,
a
okay.
lot
Have
more
you seen
brutal.
Have you seen the one where the same director made one in the mid 2000s? So he's
Deja
produced.
Vu.
Yeah. Oh my word, that's like Birdemic.
It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's
so
like
bad.
it is Birdemic levels of bad.
Yeah. Oh, there's some cringe stuff in there. Like, and it's like
It's
2.5
like he's never
hours.
met. Yeah, it's like he's never seen a movie. Like he's never made a movie before. The guy's like obviously just whatever.
That's like what happened to like Sleepaway Camp, Return to Sleepaway Camp. When I bitch about that, the same guy who did the original one, and then you had The Last House on the Left. The original one's a fucking classic, and then he comes back, same guy, and it ends up being terrible. The Deja Vu one.
It's crazy.
What's up?
Yeah, Kurt Russell in Lost in Space. What was he called? Jonathan. What was the guy called? Jonathan something over the Doctor. I don't know.
I was never a big Lost in Space person. That and same with Star Trek. I don't think I've watched like an entire episode or a movie of Star Trek.
What original series or
anything to do with Star Trek?
Right? See, when I was a kid,
never had an interest in it.
Star Trek was on a lot, like 6 o'clock BBC Two every night when I was a kid. But like for me, Wrath of Khan is really rewatchable and watchable as just an isolated, brilliant film. It would work on its own, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, Mikey.
I've heard like the movie names and all that, but no, I don't know. Like I said, not a sci-fi guy, so like that.
No, well, the first one, the motion picture sends me to sleep. But like the second one, the Wrath of Khan, now that is a hell of a film. And actually the next one after that's good too, but I think it's just if you brought up with it or not, and like when you've got 4 channels and one of them's playing Star Trek every night and the other one's got the news on the other side, you're like, okay, I'm watching Star Trek.
Yeah, that is true.
Not much choice. Then it moved over to The Simpsons. Like then we had like the same 8 episodes of The Simpsons on repeat at 6 o'clock on BBC Two for about 10 years.
I used to watch The Simpsons all the time, and I used to watch Tales from the Crypt on at like midnight on Fox 5 on Channel 5, like all the time. Like as a kid, they used to show they used to show the HBO reruns. They were a little cut, like edited for like TV. But they would show them every night of the week and the weekend. I think 7 days a week, like at midnight and like 12:30 or like 1.
Really?
2 episodes in a row.
I would have loved that. That would have been cool.
that was a lot of my TV horror nights and stuff. Like as a kid was.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Have you heard of Tales of the Unexpected? It's like
I've heard of it. I've never checked it out.
Yeah, it's like a British anthology, like created by Roald Dahl.
Okay,
that was one that used to be on every Sunday night, and that was probably I was just thinking, did we have anything like Tales from the Crypt? That was it, really, just once a week.
Yeah. This was because I forget like when they had Tales from the Crypt on HBO, the series. I forget how often I think it was once a week. But like by the time that I was watching it, like in the mid 90s or so, like there's already been a few seasons on HBO, so that it was a reruns that they would play like on Fox, like at midnight.
So that's the Crypt Keeper guy and everything. The same. who's in the Dennis Miller film. What was that one? Bordello of Blood and all that. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah. And then they had a few movies, the Demon Knight, Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, which is great. That's a fun movie with Billy Zane is in it.
I've not listened to your friend Billy Zane. He's a cool dude.
Yeah,
you know, from Zoolander. Listen to your friend.
Yeah, exactly. He's great in that movie. If you haven't seen Demon Knight, Tales from the Crypt, check that out.
I haven't. I've seen the first one. I saw Bordello of Blood with Dennis Miller playing Dennis Miller.
Yeah.
And there's like some Baywatch women in there, and maybe Erica Leniak or somebody. But yeah.
Yep, that's right, Russ. That's why it's always going to be that.
That's
I smoke this bowl quick.
They've just got Brimley. I love the fact when they lock him up, Brimley, later on.
With the noose.
Yeah, they're like, give him all the things that you could need to do yourself some serious damage or escape.
I love how he's just like begging to be let inside. I'm all right now. I'm fine. And there's just a fucking noose hanging right behind him. Like, oh yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Oh yeah, he's fine. All right.
He's just one of those people that was always old.
Yeah, I can't pick.
He's probably like my age in this film.
No, he's always everything I've ever seen him in, which isn't too much. He's always been old like him.
I think somebody said to me the other week, like when he was in Cocoon playing like the old guys.
That's right. Like, Cocoon.
He's like maybe like 2 years older than I am now.
When was Cocoon? 80 something.
85, 86.
Yeah,
87. I don't know. I always get it mixed up with Batteries Not Included because that was kind of a similar.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was mid 80s.
Yeah.
Yes, the Demon Knight is.
I need to check that one out because I've not had access to that one. But like I say, I must have seen Bordello of Blood about 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, that all the Tales from the Crypt, the whole property, I just love. I've always, probably just because when I was a kid growing up, seeing them every night.
Did they come from EC Comics as well, like Creepshow as well?
Yeah. They're all like same type of thing as Creepshow.
I was
made it an anthology show, like with that same type of idea.
Yeah, because I was gutted. You know, the new Creepshow. I've not watched all of them, but I watched a special that they did, an animated special. Where
I saw that when browsing around. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, and the animated special that they did, it was a couple of years ago. Kiefer Sutherland trapped on an island, and then another one with like a circus. It's really awesome, but they've released it on a VHS, and I really wanted it, and I tried to buy it, and it was like, sorry, we don't ship it to the UK, and I was like, son of a bitch. It's just the one thing I wanted. It looks so awesome.
I got to watch like that whole series. I still haven't watched the Creepshow.
I haven't. I just watched those 2 episodes because I think I had a free. Yeah, I just happened to have a free Shudder thing for a couple of days. I want to swim in the Cocoon pool. I think I need to swim in the Cocoon pool, Mikey. Is it fixing like a bad back and a crook neck?
Love the Canadian Horror Monster Kid Show in 71 when I was 14. Hilarious.
Man.
Vincent Price. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have a lot of respect for the classic Universal monster movies. I never watch them. Like, it's very rare. Like, maybe like the Wolfman, like, and Creature from the Black Lagoon.
I was gonna say Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Those are my 2 favorite, and Dracula, I guess, and Frankenstein. I mean, I like them, but I haven't seen probably any of them in 10 years, maybe, except for like maybe the Wolfman. Maybe like
it's a blind spot for me because I'm more like, I really like the Vincent Price, Roger Corman, Edgar Allan Poe films. I thought they were amazing, and I really like Hammer horror, and I followed all my Hammer and then Amicus anthologies. It was really cool when me and Gareth got to interview the guy who's bringing back Amicus, because I just felt like I kind of came full circle.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was just like, oh my word, like this guy's owns the company that I used to watch all the films of. I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's cool. He's bringing it back.
Yeah, well, Hammer, I don't know if you saw the new Dr. Jekyll and Miss Sister Hyde has got literally like 1 out of 10 ratings.
And I am not. I've never got big
it's-
into the Hammer movies. Believe it or
Well,
not.
this is the thing.
I've seen some of the
wasn't.
classic like ones, but like never got big. I know a lot of people that are huge into Hammer stuff.
Oh, I love Hammer, but like there was ones that people didn't like at the time, but like reappraise now and think are really cool or kitsch or funny. But this new one, I don't think it started out as a Hammer. I think it was a production company that went out of business. Then Hammer bought the rights, and then the new people took over Hammer. It was like a New York guy who does like plays. He puts on like things on Broadway. He has a lot of money. He's bought Hammer, so they've got more money than Amicus. Basically, Amicus is a Kickstarter. So yeah, it's a shame. See you later, Phil.
Thanks for hanging out, brother.
But yeah, it's a strange one that anyway. It's in Eddie Izzard plays. And literally, they said it's like the review I read today was like a 5-year-old edited it and edited it with scissors and wrote it with crayon, is what it said in the review. So wow, yeah, it'd have been better if MC Hammer had have done it. To be honest, Mikey,
right?
From the sounds of it, it's a shame because I really want them to do well.
It's funny, a lot of like from Psycho in 1960 and Mario Bava's Black Sunday same year. I think those are the two most influential horror movies like ever made. And a lot of my 60s, 70s, like early 70s horror is more like Italian than shit than like domestic horror, even like. So I never got into like the Hammer movies and stuff. Like I've seen a decent amount, but they're not like.
Do you know what though? Stuff. I think it would be cool if we watched some, not necessarily Hammer, but like some of the 70s directors who people don't know, who were British ones who were making films when no one was interested in making horror in the UK, like Norman Warren, who did Satan's Slave.
Satan's Slave is great. I've seen Satan's Slave.
Oh, it's awesome. And Pete Walker, Pete Walker. Oh, Norman Warren did Inseminoid. And Pete Walker, who did like Frightmare and House of Whipcord and all these kind of.
Frightmare, I haven't seen in years. That's a good one too.
Yeah, those two guys were making films like when no one was making horror in the UK, and they were just getting absolutely slated for doing it, making no money out of it, nothing. So good. Dr. Phibes, yeah. Dr. Phibes, a good one. I wonder if I think Dr. Phibes may be American made, but they feel really British. Just a bit interesting. Yeah. Because like Vincent Price is one of those guys where I reckon there's a lot of people in the world who think Vincent Price is British. The way he talked.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people who do.
They put them together with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing.
I could see it though. I could see people thinking he's British.
Yeah. Peter Cushing's my guy though. He's like, man, he's a legend. Have you heard of a film called Corruption that Peter Cushing was in?
No.
Indicate. It's amazing. It's got lasers.
What year?
74 maybe. There's an indicator. See you later. Yeah, it's an indicator release with a little book and art cards, and it looks beautiful.
Nice.
But it's an insane film.
I gotta check it out. Corruption.
Yeah, we should watch that one together, man. I'd love to.
Let me
show you. Let me show you this box. Let me show you my box. British innuendo there. So yeah, Corruption.
Nice.
It's a really nice one. You get
that cover looks familiar. Actually, the cover.
You might have seen it. This is the.
Nice.
Some of the pictures.
Yeah, I'm down to watch it.
It was like, women do not watch this film. That's how it was.
Women do not watch this, and you know that all the women went to watch it just from being told not to.
Can you imagine that now? They'd be like, I think that's a
best lawsuit.
Yeah.
There'll be lawsuits and shit.
I've not seen it, but I imagine the way films are made now, like Exorcist. I saw a review for the new Exorcist film, and the guy was like, "Well, what they've done is they've gone, well, we can't have too much Catholicism because other religions won't like it, so we'll have all the religions, and we can't
Yeah,
have just this character. We'll have all of those, and it's like making a film by a committee and ticking every single box. So you
yeah,
forget.
that's how it feels near the
Yeah.
end. Like it even like they put that like as a message kind of into the movie that it's very hokey. Of like,
And it's fine to
it
make a
takes
movie about.
all of us to come together to dispel the evil. Like it takes all of us of all types and backgrounds and stuff. Like, which is a good message and shit. Like,
Sure,
but it's
but make
just
a
like
different
the way,
film.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
way that it's thrown in there and stuff. It feels so hokey and it feels so
Yeah.
like in your face. Like this is obvious. Like here's your message. Like here's your good like message.
Oh man, it doesn't make any sense though, because the film is about Catholicism. So
Yeah, exactly.
make another film about your different subject. Yes, it might mean that some people don't want to watch it, but it might be a better film. But I guess they're not prepared to do that.
Yeah.
It's just such a strange thought process. It's a bit like having lines in there where I believe she says something like she wasn't allowed in the room during exorcism.
The patriarch.
Patriarch. It's like, well, hang on, that's because you're not a priest and you don't know how to exorcise demons. It's not because you're a woman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people jumped on that line though, and people like that's what's crazy about today.
It's just saying it makes no sense.
Dark Harvest. I've not seen Dark Harvest yet, Russ.
I've heard of that.
I've heard of it too. I've been wanting to check it out.
Well,
check out what Horrorcat just said, and I said earlier, When Evil Lurks. Watch that, Russ.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that's the one you told me before, isn't it?
Yeah, that is an awesome possession movie. That's like really, really, like, now that I'm thinking about it more, I didn't get a chance to fully process it because it literally ended like right before we started this. So like when I might rewatch it, but like it was contending for like top horror of the year. Like
where was that on Shudder?
Shudder, yeah.
Right, I might have to try and find that through nefarious means then later on.
And Hell House LLC, if you like found footage in the Hell House movies, the
I downloaded the original off your recommendation. Actually, I've not watched it yet, but I downloaded it off your recommendation.
Oh, cool! Yeah, the first one is the best, but the other one just hit Shudder today. Actually, the Origins one, I saw it a few days ago. Did a review on it. I liked it a decent amount.
Nice.
I'll tell you one thing. This month and like just like fall in general is like the most condensed period of like huge horror releases or like franchise releases, sequels that I can remember like in years. Like we had Saw 10, we had Exorcist Believer, Five Nights at Freddy's we just got. We had VHS 85.
It's a lot. It doesn't give you time to digest them.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And then they're out. They'll probably be on Blu-ray next week, all of them as well.
Yeah, Pet Cemetery Bloodlines. That was another one that sucked. That one was terrible.
I tried watching Five Nights at Freddy's last night, and my stream gave out with about 20 minutes to go, and I was like, well, I can see where this is heading. I don't need to watch the rest of it.
It's very anticlimactic, actually. I feel like
I did think there's a big build-up. Yeah, there's a massive build-up, and I thought they can't hit the landing here, so I'm probably just gonna not watch the end. He's a good kid, though.
They leave it open for sure.
Right. He's a good actor. I like that kid.
Yeah,
he's a good kid.
Yeah. It's a fun movie. It's just like if I'm not a big fan, I'm not a fan of the games, so I don't care really about the lore and like all the dream shit. Like was kind of stupid, like going back, and he kept trying to he's taking sleeping pills to try to have the same dream over and over again and like change things. It's like it feels like way too much of a story, like for like a convoluted one too, for like a Five Nights at Freddy's scary animatronics movie. And it's fun, like for it's family friendly for the most part, I'd say.
Yeah. Like, he carried it. He carried his role quite well as a lead. I remember when I used to watch that show because I was trying to like put films on for the kids that kind of give them a little bit of something to think about, or empathy or sympathy. So I used to end up watching Bridge to Terabithia quite a lot with the kids. And
I haven't seen that in forever. That's a great movie. I
it's a
haven't seen that. Yeah, that's wow.
heartbreaking film.
I didn't even think about that movie until you just said it. In probably 15
He's
years.
great in that, but they're both good. I don't know what I can't remember who the female lead is in it, but they're both great in that for being little kids essentially. They're great.
Yeah.
It's like have you seen A Monster Calls?
With
Liam Neeson's the monster in it. And it's Helen Mirren and then this young.
No, I know what you mean. I never saw it.
That's the book of that for kids to read. Again, sympathy and empathy and understanding and being able to talk about your feelings. Like it used to be great. I used to teach that book with 11-year-olds, even though it was probably a little bit higher than that age range, and they used to get so much out of it. Like tough kids used to get a lot out of it as well. Tough kids who didn't want to speak about their feelings got a lot out of it.
Yeah, that's good though. Like my daughter's 10, and I just got her to watch Titanic 2 months ago, and she besides the first half hour of her fighting it a little bit, but she'd look over at the screen and then she'd look away and then she'd look over. After the first half hour, she was glued to that screen for the whole thing. Besides the drawing scene, I had to fast forward through and say close your eyes. Besides that though, she was and she was asking questions and stuff and why, and she said why can't he get on the thing too
that's been
a thing for Ava, baby. Since the movie came out, it's stupid. I know, but she really liked it. That was I had her watch Megan a year ago, and she was half paying attention when the movie first came out. But whenever the android was on screen, she was you could see her eyes glued to it a bit, and then wander away when other scenes happen.
Awesome, man. That's cool. I think she probably liked that, when a monster calls. I feel like
I'll look into it
for kids of that age.
Nice. Yeah, Mike, you definitely check out When Evil Lurks. It's not even really it's nothing like what you think of when you think of a possession movie. It's kind of more like a possession disease spreading movie. That's the most I could say without saying any spoilers or anything. Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah, Willy's Wonderland. And what's the other one? The Banana Splits one.
Yeah, the Banana Splits movie. That's kind of what I was expecting with the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Was the
I switched off the Banana Splits one again about
it wasn't good yet. I mean, I didn't have any expectations for it, but I remember this Tra La La song and I remember the Banana Splits, so I gave it a shot and it's this ain't that gory, it's no good kills or anything, and I knew this would be more family friendly, and it's pretty much very similar actually. The two movies. I don't remember a lot from the Banana Splits one. I saw.
I just remember that they were in a studio, weren't they?
Yeah,
it was a couple of years ago.
2017, 2018, something like that. So it's been 5-6 years already.
I just remember the family in it being really obnoxious. And I was just I couldn't care less about any of them. That's probably what Five Nights at Freddy has over that, is that
the dynamic between them. I like
him and his sister,
father and daughter. I mean, the father, for the guy and his sister.
Well, it's true because is it that he couldn't be old enough to be the dad? But surely he is now. He must be in his mid-20s.
Yeah, I thought when I first turned it on, I thought it was his daughter.
Yeah,
and especially when they throw in the aunt stuff for custody and everything like that, and then you find out it's the sister. I was that was an interesting choice, to make it sister and not his daughter.
Maybe it's just people don't want him to grow up.
Yeah, maybe, right?
Get McGreedy's beard in this. This is the cosplay. I've seen so many people cosplay with that beard. With icicles on it.
Dude, I'd be fucking furious if I was him. I'd be furious at friggin' Knowles, especially. Cut my ass loose. Hey, memories.
Do you think
What's up, buddy?
Kurt Russell would have made They Live into a better movie if he'd have been the Roddy Piper character, or was that just right for Roddy Piper?
I think it's good for Piper. I've always liked that role. I've never been like a big wrestling fan or like a Piper fan in general or anything, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I could see it without him.
No.
Play that role.
I just wonder if the first choice was Kurt Russell, because I feel like
it could have been.
Yeah.
I mean, knowing, like we said, like earlier, how Carpenter just loved using the same people from project to project.
Yeah.
This is like my favorite scene in a movie ever.
Oh.
Just the effects work here is just like the best ever. Like there's been nothing for me that tops this. And it's just like jaw-droppingly like masterful every time I watch it. It's like getting sucked into a trance.
What's the time check on this, JT?
It is hour 15, 30 something or 40. Yeah, 30, 40 something.
Perfect. Same.
He's about to do the defibrillator.
Here we go.
Just the brilliant way they filmed this, that they use a double amputee and put a mask of Copper's, the actor's face on. So in this shot, right after his arm got pulled away, and you see the arm, the stubs, he's wearing a mask in that one shot, and it really sells the shit out of it. Like, because you can't tell it's not a mask. Then
it's a little bit like Reanimator as well, like kind of.
Yeah, Reanimator's just got amazing effects too. That's another favorite of mine.
With the head. Yeah, I love Reanimator. That's one when people say, shall I watch a horror movie? I go, watch Reanimator.
Oh yeah, Reanimator's just like
you can always find it. You can always find it for free on YouTube as well. Somebody's always posted it for free.
It's always everywhere for free now. Like every free streaming service. The whole thing with his head like coming down, it looks gooey as shit. Like you could feel how like it's like you could feel the texture of like the neck like coming around. The tongue and shit that like sticks to the desk and scrolls the head, like all of that is so fantastic. It must have taken so much work to control all this.
Oh man,
like behind the scenes
for a young guy doing this for the first time.
With only
I believe
only few people in the crew. I think like maybe had a few people help.
When they made The Fly, they contacted him and asked him how to do the special effects. They were so interested in like, how did you do that? How did you do this?
And then the spider head, like that's just fucking bonkers, yeah. It looks fantastic.
That's cool. There's a lot to be said for those big fire things on your big flamethrowers, isn't there? Like we were talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as well.
Oh yeah. And then the sound it makes here when it comes out.
Yeah.
That like gargling sound.
It's not like a subtle tool, is it? It's like, oh man, yeah. Don't worry about the banana splits film, Russell.
Yeah, it's not great.
Give that one a miss. Sadly,
not great.
Doesn't have the charm of the series.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Let's do what Max says.
Even with the spider, I like, and they do a few effects this way with reverse shots, like with the head on the ground, like they'd have the spider legs and the eyes already out, and then they pull them back in reverse, and then reverse that to have it grow out and everything. Like just such like genius thinking and creativity in the way that they pulled it off, and the editing and the way that Carpenter lights all of it so that you see it just enough but not enough that it gives the effect away immediately. Like it's just perfect.
Yeah, he is. He's masterful. He really is.
And then the same with the blood scene here. Like it's the same level. Like the tension is through the roof in this scene. From Beyond's a great one. That's a movie I've been wanting to talk about for a while.
Yes, that is an amazing film. Oh,
Anything,
Barbara Crampton.
anything,
Wow.
anything. Barbara Crampton, Stuart Gordon, and yeah, exactly.
And
Anything
Jeffrey Wright.
her and Jeffrey Combs and Stuart Gordon were in, like I consider
Oh,
like the Beatles of horror minus Ringo.
yeah.
Like
It's
they
so
just
good.
killed it and everything. I did a video on Reanimator. I did a video on Castle Freak, which I think is the
Castle
best full
Freak.
moon. I think that's the best full moon movie.
And that's his house, isn't it? That's Charles Band's house.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that was before he got that was before Full Moon got like real ridiculous, as it went on. But Castle
Yeah,
Freak,
like
I think, is a
Ginger Dead
legitimate,
Man 7 or
yeah,
whatever.
like an evil bong and all that shit. Like I like a
Yeah,
lot of Full
Ouija.
Moon movies. Like The Killer
Yeah.
Eye is a fun one. It should be
I
like The
like a lot.
Rapist
I like
Eye.
some of the puppet. Yeah, like
The
Puppet
Puppet
Master.
Masters, dude. My whole I have a whole playlist on the Puppet Master series, and I was suffering through every one. Like past, I never saw past like the third one until I just started covering them, and I liked the first one. I like the second one.
I like the second
but
one.
I don't even like love them. They're like I'll watch them
No.
once every 5 years maybe. But then I started going through the series, and like the third one was like all right, and the fourth and fifth, the demons. I'm like it's getting kind of stupid and boring. Then like they kept going, and every movie I had to split them up by like a month each. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of those actually, which is funny because I hate the series. After watching it all, like every one just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and like, it's so bad. Like every video is just me like pissed off for the entire.
That's those figures are your nest egg now, though. They'll only appreciate in value.
Yeah, I hope so.
You can retire on those figures, man.
Yeah, they're not in their they're out of their packaging. I don't keep shit in their packaging. I used to fuck around. I set them up in my background sometime.
I sold all my I had every Star Wars figure from 1977 all the way through to Power of the Force. I had every single one. I sold them. Crazy. I sold them all. Some of them had a few replacements, but most of them, 99% of them, were original. I made a little video about it, like my kind of history with. And the thing was, I felt I'd completed it. I felt I'd done it, and I was like, yeah, there's a lot of thought that went into it. One of them being I needed money.
Oh yeah, and I understand what like you were saying too. Like you kind of like it's kind of like you proved to yourself that you can get them all. You collected it, you completed it, and now if you need be, you can like get rid of them if you need to, because you always have the memory that you had them all. You know
exactly. Yeah. Luckily, I did video a little bit of it. I think like as well, like moving house or moving a great distance, it allows you to kind of audit everything and just go, can I live without this?
Yeah, like just bare bones essentials. Like if you need to pick just the essential things, like what can you get rid of? Like if you had to.
Yeah. One, I'm good at that. I'm good at throwing things away, but then sometimes I do start buying them back again. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
Oh, man, how young does he look here? He looks like a proper badass as well. Well, both of them do, but Keith David in particular looks.
Oh yeah, I know he looks
a child. It's because all the others look so old.
Oh yeah,
except Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell's, you know.
I love Gary's line at the end of the scene when he's just like, I know you gentlemen have been through a lot, so if you have the time, I'd like to not spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch. That's such a great line.
That's a good line.
Even this little effect, like when he finally puts into Palmer's blood and like it squirts up from the petri dish. That's an awesome effect. And it's like a very simple one compared to everything else.
Yeah.
Right here.
This is where it does twist over into horror, isn't it? It's the effects that makes that.
Yeah. And just like with the blood like scurrying away, like that's a cool effect too.
It's funny you were saying like I'm exactly the same like about Alien. I don't, it doesn't have like that same. I prefer this film to that. But then again, I don't know about you, but I really like what's it called? Event Horizon.
Event Horizon's a great movie.
Yeah, that's more horror than Alien.
That's the movie that first hit my head when Professor Macabre brought up Harbinger Down earlier. For some reason, I always those two always get
Oh,
recalled in
okay.
my memory together for some reason, even though they're not
Are they
similar at all
similar
or
or?
anything.
Oh, they're not. Okay, right.
Not
I was going
really.
to say
Yeah, no, not really.
I love Event Horizon. It is fucking insane.
Yeah, it's a great movie. That and what's that other great? The Void. You ever see The Void?
No, no.
That's a good movie.
Is
From
that around the same time or
it's like
older? Or...
2010, so I want to say. Like maybe
It's a Canadian
2010,
film.
2009. I'm not sure. It might be. It's very Lovecraft. Like it's very,
I was
very
going to say, is it
Lovecraft.
the one? There's like some police officers in a hospital.
Yeah,
No.
they're in a hospital. Yep, and
Oh,
it's
I might have seen that.
all
I might have seen some
practical
of it.
effects. It's all practical effects work.
I
It
need
looks
to rewatch it
fantastic.
then, I think.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I had to watch that twice in order for it to click because I remember I watched it when it came out and it didn't really click for me. Then I rewatched it like a year ago or so, and it really clicked for me that time.
I'll watch it again. I'll give it another go.
But all of that with the fucking him with Windows' body flailing or up and down and stuff like that—that's unreal. Like how they did that.
That's mad.
He's still around. Windows is still
Knowles. I've never known of anybody with the name Knowles.
Yeah, no, this is the only Knowles I've ever heard of, met, seen, nothing. Only him. And like they look genuinely like terrified when he's about to get his blood tested. Now he sighs, just like Windows did. So a question that I've always asked and people always ask is, do they know that they're the thing when they're the thing? I don't think they.
Are you aware that you're infected?
Yeah, I don't think that they are. I think that it just like that's why they're so worried because they don't know if they are. Like once it hits, they can just burst out like Palmer did. So I think you don't know until like the things like survival's threatened. Then that it'll just start ripping out of your body, like which is terrifying when you think about it like that. That like you have no idea.
That's real. Yeah, it's like real contagion, though, isn't it? That's like kind of people had that same fear, passing things to their relatives and stuff with COVID, didn't they?
Exactly. So it's like being a carrier and not having symptoms. Being asymptomatic.
All these things hit home a lot more.
Oh yeah,
after going through a world-changing event.
Oh, absolutely. I love that line. Tied to this fucking couch.
It's a good line. I don't say, if you're out in the winter or anywhere cold and you're bald, you're gonna feel it more. You need to be wearing a hat or have your hood up.
I used to go to college in 2006 up in upstate New York near almost Canada, and it would get so cold that you walk outside and just your face starts hurting after like 20 seconds, like in the cold. Like that's how cold it gets. It's like brutal, really brutal. I couldn't imagine like living up there like full time, like people who live like right up there, like upstate New York, Canada. Crazy.
I've always wanted to go to Canada. I was like interested to go there with like places like say like the Calgary Stampede and things like that. See you later, Russell. I have a bit of a love for Canada, and also because when I was a kid, all the people I thought were really cool.
Take care, brother.
I only know that from Weezer.
That's what I thought of as soon as I saw it, even though I smoke very often. Yeah. So like you'd think I would just think of the regular hash pipe, think of Weezer song every time I see that. Every time I see that phrase.
Me too.
I love Weezer. I always have.
Do you know I had tickets to see them when they did the big concert with there was the three of them. I can't remember who it was. They were all touring together. It was like three bands that I liked. Like I was thinking it was like Green Day, Weezer, and maybe Fall Out Boy. I'm not sure.
That would make sense. They're all like in the same genre.
It got cancelled for because of COVID, and then when they redid it, when they redid it, I couldn't go. But there's a few things like that I had on my list. One was to see, Jizza from Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah,
he cancelled twice, and then the third time he cancelled on the night. But apparently he was doing his set, sat down on a chair. Can you imagine, like, the Wu-Tang Clan? Like, this guy's a killer, you know, an MC, like, will destroy people. It's like a 50-odd-year-old guy sat on a chair. Oh man,
always loved Del, the Funky Homo Sapien.
I know the name, but I don't know the. I don't know any music.
He was the guy. The Gorillas, the cartoon band, and Clint Eastwood. That old song, the rapper on that, and he's. I'm pretty sure it's Ice Cube's cousin. And
right. Oh, okay. I might have heard him.
He's fantastic.
I used to listen to Ice Cube a lot.
I'm not a big rap lover or anything. There's maybe I like some old Eminem, some old Dr. Dre and stuff, and a few other underground things. But Del the Funky Homo Sapien, he has a space rap album called Deltron 3030. Check that out. Right. That's a great album. It's like
that's the thing,
rap opera. It's crazy.
Have you ever heard Liquid Swords? It's all based upon what's the one from what's the bedtime film for the kid in Kill Bill? Shogun Assassin.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, Shogun Assassin. Yeah,
I think that sounds right.
It's all based.
Watched them recently.
It's based on, like, the whole album's like Liquid Swords is based on that, and it's like a kind of concept album. It's really good. It's better. I'm not like a massive Wu-Tang guy, but like GZA, whatever you want to call him, he's fucking amazing.
Yeah, you're nuts, Russell.
So nice. Toronto.
I couldn't live up there with the freezing ass cold.
My housemate was from Toronto. He came to Bolton in England, which is like a nothing happening place from Toronto. And he was like, I was like, why? I would swap with you, man. I want to go somewhere interesting like Toronto.
Yeah, it's got to be fucking cold there. What's the temperature there, Russell, right now? I'd be very interested to see.
Do you look like McCready right now?
That's what I'm guessing and picturing in my head. I'm picturing Russell with the white snow icicle beard.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going through my mind.
Yeah. Oh, there goes the...
And they know that they're fucked. Like, they can't do it. They gotta... They're not leaving here. They gotta kill this thing.
Yeah.
Or humanity is just completely screwed.
Yeah, battle for survival now. The beginning and the end of this film are the two parts I completely forget. Everything else is like really vivid and memorable, but like the alien ship
that's
part
most likely because of the effects and stuff. The effects scenes are just so memorable and everything that those you never forget.
Yeah, that's true. I love the flares and everything though, the reds and then obviously the fire and the yellows and everything just stand out. So
the blue here, like all the blue lighting on the compound, and like this, I always say you could feel the fucking cold through this movie. Like just looking at this movie, like you feel cold.
Well, I don't know if you can tell, but I've been holding myself, but it is bloody freezing here anyway.
Yes.
Kurt Russell.
Yes, Kurt Russell is awesome. How you doing,
as they used to say, FTW. Kurt Russell, FTW. That was a thing. That was a thing with my friends when I was at college. Like, and by college, I mean like 16, 17-year-old writing FTW after things.
Funny. They blew up like a lot of this set.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I said to that guy who had all the props when I met him. I was like, so what did you do? He's like, literally, we just went down there and a lot of the stuff was just lying there, not touched. So just bagged it all up and brought it back. And this is like in the mid 2000s.
Oh, Tombstone's a great movie.
Oh, yeah. I've not seen that for a long time.
Me too. But that's a great movie.
I do like a good cowboy film. Open Range was a good one.
Yeah, I've never been like a huge Western person, but I like he's like a good one now and then, like really hits the spot.
You know, like when I was a kid, I used to watch Young Guns over and over again. That was like
Yeah.
I know it's like a modern sort of MTV version of a cowboy film, but like I'm going to a thing next week and Lou Diamond Phillips is there, and I'm gonna get my
Oh,
Young
nice.
Guns thing signed because I'm just like he's Chavez from Young Guns for me, and I must have seen that film on VHS 20 times when I was a kid. Be like, yeah, you, I make you famous. Fucking hell, Emilio Estevez, amazing in that film.
Yeah, I used to have a certain handful of movies that when I was maybe like between like 6, 10, 11, before I had like actual like a cable in my room, but I had a
Mhm.
TV, you know, all I had was a VHS player. So I just had like a few handful of movies that I need background noise to sleep.
Yeah,
So
me
like I
too.
need to have a movie on or something. So I would just leave the same movie in for like a week or two at a time and fall asleep to it every night and just remember
Yeah.
it, like every single line from it. Like Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2 is one of those.
Right. Oh man,
That's why it's a guilty pleasure movie of
I
mine.
saw that recently for the first time.
I love that. I love
Uh,
that movie. It
they
got
threw
fucked by the studios a decent amount.
yes, yeah. He thingy Eduardo Sanchez from the first one. He's at that con that I'm going to next week as
Oh, is
well.
he? Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's good. I'm gonna try and get him to sign a little wicker, little stickman thing.
Yeah, Stickman. That would be cool. He also did a decent. We were saying about the movie Night of the Demon with Bigfoot earlier. A
Oh
decent
yeah.
Bigfoot found footage movie. Found footage movie. The hell's it called? Exists. I think it's
Oh,
called.
okay.
Yeah, Exists. Eduardo Sanchez did. It's
They're
like this.
coming back, man. They're coming back. These
Oh
kind
yeah.
of films. There's a guy I interviewed, Dylan Brown. He made one called Tahoe Joe that's on Tubi. That's quite an interesting one. It's basically Jaws, but with Bigfoot. He did a good
That's
job with
cool.
that. Yeah, he did a really
Yeah,
good job.
there's been a lot of found footage movies coming out in like waves, like especially like independent filmmakers and like first time filmmakers.
Mm-hmm.
I had the director of the movie Chess that came. It's on Tubi now. It came out like a few months after he gave me like an early copy to watch, and I had him on for an interview and stuff. I might be in his next movie.
Oh, cool.
He just asked me to send him a recording and send him the interview that we did because he's gonna like
Nice.
go like meta with it and like continue
Nice.
his movie but like pretend that he disappeared. So he wants
That's
me to like
cool.
say like, oh, and by the way, like I just found out like my friend Aaron Irish who directed this movie, you know, disappeared and whatever,
How
and that'll
strange.
be in the movie whenever it's
That's
done.
so weird because that's pretty
That's
much what I
funny.
did. I did the same thing, man. That's so strange. I did literally
Really?
the same thing
Oh yeah,
because of
when I remember when you were talking about that.
um, Lights Over Montgomery County.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's so
that's
funny.
funny, right? Just
Yeah,
see, that's why it's
how
cool because you never know the people you meet and shit doing
yeah.
this, and
Oh,
then
Justin who made
before
that
you
film is
know
a
it, hey,
really
you get a
great
little
guy.
cameo in an horror
Yeah,
movie.
and I wasn't. I literally was just like, "Is there anything you want me to do to help out? Like, is there anything you need other
Yeah.
than the interview?" Because we were going to interview each other, and we were chatting, and he was just such a sound guy, such a nice chap. Hey, Dave,
What's up, Dave? How you doing, brother?
you're just in time for some major happenings in this film.
Yes. I love the whole assimilation scene. It's a small little effect compared to everything else, but when Blair goes up to Gary and puts his hand on his face, and it just like melds into his face. At the
Yeah.
first time I saw Society by Brian Yuzna,
Oh, what a film!
the shunting scene reminded me of that effect. Like when he
Yeah,
puts his hand on him, how the skin melts together. Like it looks really
I
good.
love that film, but I feel like I need to have a shower after I've watched it.
Oh yeah, I mean that movie's a
It,
fucking certifiable. That
it's
movie's so
crazy.
crazy. I love
But
Society.
yeah,
There's
Butthead.
there's not much Brian Yuzna films that I don't enjoy the hell out of.
No. He did a really strange job on the another one that made me want to shower after in the Silent Night, Deadly Night one that he did with all the
Yeah,
creepy
the bugs and
cockroaches
shit.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
I haven't seen that
Oh.
one. I think I saw it once, and that's it. I just refer to it
Those
as the
films,
bug one.
is there a series of films where they're so radically different from one film to the next? Right,
Yeah,
Dave, I'll leave. I'll leave. You
yeah,
get. I'll go. I'll go. I don't want to fight. I don't
yeah.
want to. I'm a lover. I'm a lover,
I have like
not a
more
fighter.
British guests than the American guests. When I think about it, I have Dave, I have Gareth, Mike. Yeah, Probably like more British
It's
than
strange,
American,
huh?
right? I just always was a sucker for you guys' accents. That's what
That's what
it
it
is.
is. Beautiful accents. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I will love that effect too, like the T-Rex look of the thing, and then the dog bursts out the chest and shit,
Jeez.
and then the
There's
fuck
lots of
you too.
there's like screeching noises, isn't there? Like horrible.
I usually hate that, like especially nowadays. It's been done so many times with the whole like, fuck you too, like to the bad guy line before like they die.
Yeah.
It's like whenever you see it in like a stupid movie nowadays, and they'll take this, you son of a bitch. Like I can't stand any of
Yeah.
that. Like,
There's got to.
like
I think
90% of the time.
you got to get more creative with it these days. Oh, thank
Yeah,
God,
and it's got
Dave.
yeah.
I was gonna go
It's
into witness
allowing it.
protection, and I was gonna
Dave's
wear a
allowing it.
disguise. I was scared. I'm like, yeah, I'm a lover, not a fighter.
So the thing is dead, and now his child's the thing or not? That's what I always wonder.
You know, you're saying
Everyone
about
does.
like final lines and things like that. Going back to Young Guns, where he shoots Murphy in the end of Young Guns. I remember this as a kid, and he goes, "Reap the whirlwind, you son of a bitch," and shoots him
Yeah,
right between there. It's a good
that's
line.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the majority are not good.
No. A lot of it's just fuck you now, and that's like quite lazy, really.
Oh
It
yeah,
doesn't have the shock value that it used to do.
just like the whole line, like you got to be fucking kidding me. Like it's in every movie, like every movie they use that line.
Like really? There's like a really? Oh, you
Yeah,
gotta be fucking kidding me. Yeah.
it's like they need to retire that line or use it like very sparingly. It's different like in Hatchet, because in the Hatchet movies that's like a running gag in the 4 movies, that exact line, but like in most movies, like they got to retire that.
Yeah, for sure.
So what do you think? Do you think that one of them are the thing at the end, or neither, or both?
Honestly, I think Carpenter being quite nihilistic, I'd imagine both.
See, I've always liked that way of thinking about the end, because like I'm very cynical and shit. So like just the idea of both of them being and humanity's completely screwed, like it intrigues
It's his
me the most.
personality. It's like his personality as well, Carpenter. I can't imagine him wanting to give us a happy ending.
Yeah, like I've seen a lot. Like you see the oxidation on the breath from McCready, but you don't see any breath from Childs. So a lot of people you see like there, but you don't see much coming out of him. That's been a theory, even though like I can see breath, so I don't know how much of a good theory that is. So a lot of people think that Childs might be the thing, which I mean, I guess humanity still is screwed, even if one of them is.
Yeah,
because they're just going to kill the other one, and that's it. And they just say, "Let's stay here a little while, see what happens." Savage was adopted by British parents. Straw Dogs OG or remake? OG. Original Straw Dogs.
I've not seen it all the way through, even though I'm a big fan of
Susan Jones. I don't think I've seen the remake except for like when it first came out.
Just thinking McReady, it's like McReady, isn't it? It's like he's the only one who's ready. Like it's almost like
that's interesting. I've never thought of that.
I never thought about it until I just saw the credits come up. Then I was like, oh,
that's actually pretty funny. Like like Mac is ready, like he's ready, and everybody else is not.
And like Brimley, it says like a Wilford Brimley as well. I didn't realize he was a Wilford Brimley. Oh, strange.
And Dean Cundy as DP. It's just another thing brilliant about this movie.
So is it Fuchs? To say Fuchs or Fox or Fox?
Fuchs.
It's like a German name. Yeah.
Because it's weird.
There used to be a footballer who played for Millwall in the 90s, and he was called Uwe Fuchs or Fuchs.
And I like how Gary's name has 2 R's in it, which you don't see that often.
You don't.
Working, that's no problem, buddy. We're ending this anyway. We just ended the movie. Fucking happy Halloween.
Do my best. Happy
you, Dave,
Halloween. Yeah.
because you're also over there where Matt is, and it's Halloween.
That's it.
I still got 10 minutes and 2 hours to go until Halloween here. But
You'll
thanks.
make it, man.
Thanks so much for joining me, Matt. This is awesome as
I loved
always.
it, man.
Great time.
Yeah,
And
it's good fun.
everybody
Happy
who
Halloween.
hung out, happy Halloween. And I'm trying to think of the best way, because Shudder has this 101 greatest horror movie or scariest moments or whatever list. So I might just maybe do a live stream tomorrow during the day instead of just doing a recorded video. Maybe that would be the easiest way, and then like be able to talk about each movie as the list goes down, something like that. But that and the Argento thing I'll try to have out tomorrow before Halloween 78, 8 p.m. Again, I just watched it the other day, but it's fucking Halloween. I can watch it whenever.
Yeah.
So everybody have a great night. Matt, have a great night.
You too, buddy.
I will talk to all